and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Natalie Megan and this is Weirdo Book Club, and today we are, for some reason, reading more from the Cat and Mouse series by H.D. Carlton. We're going to be discussing Phantom, and if you couldn't tell, I had a ball with this, as I do all of her books, to be fair. I need some light. I need some sparkle, so let me put my little up. I can't live like this, okay? Thank you. Okay, so for those of you who are new around these parts, I have read this author before, multiple times, and you can find those reviews linked below. Do you need to watch them before you watch this one? No, you don't really need to watch any of them, but I would really appreciate it if you did, because I worked really hard on them and they took a lot from me. And you'll see by the end of this review, you'll understand. But for those of you who have been here, you know what we're about to get into. And if you don't want to, have it spoiled and maybe you're thinking, I'll read it too. I did convince 2 of my friends to read this with me. However, if you would like to get in on this action and you don't want it spoiled, I'm just going to read you my review. 1 star. Title, oh, okay, this book is the equivalent of a piece of sopping wet bread at the bottom of a dumpster, but like with mafia stuff thrown in. Or to use the book's language against it, I'd sock this book in the kisser for making a bird like me have to suffer through such gobbledygook. To the hoosegow for you. And if you think, wow, Natalie, did you have a stroke? No, I read this book. But honestly, same thing. Before we get too into it, let's talk about today's sponsor, Flexispot. Flexispot was nice enough to send me their queen-size all-in-one adjustable bed with the linen upholstered headboard in the color sage. A couple of times after I set this up, my husband's come home and he's not able to find me because I'm tucked away in here. This is my new favorite spot in the house. And for all my nighttime readers who need to find a good position to read your books in, this bed is ideal. But aside from that, this bed is also easy to put together, easy to use. You just push a button and you can incline or recline to your desired level. And it's cute. As soon as my husband set it up, because I have an injury, so I wasn't able to get any footage of that. But as soon as he finished setting it up for me, I got in here and I made all of this possible. As I said, the upholstered headboard is really comfy, cozy, and cute. It's good that it's upholstered. I'm glad that I picked this option because I have a tendency to hurt myself on accident. The sage is very understated. It's very mellow, so it goes with any color that you want to use for your bedding. You don't have to remove anything to use the adjustable feature. You simply push the button and the bed will rise and fall to your desire. You can get work done, you can read, you can watch TV, you can read some more in a different position, and then you can take a nap. We all deserve a nap, don't we? If you like this bed and want to get one for yourself or maybe someone that you love, the holidays are around the corner. The Black Friday and Cyber Monday Flexispot sale is happening from November 20th to December 1st, and you can enjoy up to 65% off their entire catalog, but if you use the code in my description, you'll get an extra 5% off all of the upholstered adjustable bed options. And explore all the other stuff that they have to offer. They have a lot of really cool stuff over there. And it supports the channel, which you obviously like because you're here. Thanks again to Flexispot for sponsoring this video, and now if we don't get back to the video, I may curl up and go to sleep and just not do this. So let's go. All right, the time has come. Are you guys ready? Oh, me too. So the disclaimers for this video, the first one's always the same. This review will contain spoilers, opinions, general shit talking. If none of that interests you, you can just scoot on out of here. No hard feelings. So the details of this book are as follows. 326-page dark mafia romance and a prequel in the Cat and Mouse series duet. I don't know. She keeps adding books. And if you're thinking, hey, wait a second, isn't there already a prequel? Yeah, Satan's Affair. I also read this. The whole series is apparently in chronological order. It's Phantom, Satan's Affair, Haunting Adeline, Hunting Adeline, and oh, Where's Molly? Also somewhere. So this is available on Kindle Unlimited, lucky us, and it was first published January 4th, 2025, which is my birthday. Give me a second. All right, you want to read the synopsis? Or rather, me read it to you? Here we go. November 12th, 1944. This house holds on to souls for a lifetime. I thought I had given it to my husband when I vowed to love him until the end of time. I lied. Nothing could have prepared me for the day my phantom appeared outside my window. He was terrifying yet hypnotizing, and I couldn't deny my intrigue. I know, you say it a lot. I never intended to fall into a whirlwind romance with my stalker, especially because he's so much more than that. A criminal, a mobster, the man who offers me solace from the monster in Parsons Manor. There are many that haunt these halls, yet it is only my husband I fear. So if you couldn't guess, this is Gigi's story. You recall, if you don't, I'll tell you. The first book in this whole thing is Haunting Adeline, and in it, Adeline, our main character, discovers within the walls of this home that she inherited from her grandmother her discarded journals. Gigi is oh my God, I need a whiteboard. Gigi is the star of this book. She had a daughter named Serafina. Serafina went on in time to birth Adeline, who is the namesake of Haunting Adeline. At the beginning of that book, we see Adeline entering into Parsons Manor, and someone punches a hole through the wall, and then through that interaction, she finds Gigi's journals shoved in the wall, okay? So that is what this book is. It's Gigi's turn in the limelight, and God help us. Really. And please understand, I'm not a fan of this. This is another disclaimer for you. I'm not a fan of this series. I hate this stuff. I think it's crap. But you guys seem to really enjoy it when I read it, so I do it for you, okay? The things I do for you. And I'm willing to go through this, okay? I did it. We're doing it. But even though I know that I'm not the target audience for this, I still need to say, I feel compelled to say, I didn't want this book. I didn't need this book. I didn't have any questions about Gigi. She was so boring. Just even as like a bystander, by proxy, nothing character, where her whisper journals and red lipstick kisses at the bottom of each entry, they gave me nothing, and I wanted nothing. I didn't end any of those 9 million page books and think, man, gee willikers, I wonder what Gigi's real story was. Nope, slept like a baby when I was done. No questions, no follow-ups. Please leave me alone. But she didn't. She published Gigi's story on my birthday. So here we are. Let's just get right in it, all right? The important note that was at the front of the book, this is a dark romance with triggering situations. No shit. Such as stalking, cheating, not between the love interest. No, but the love interest, the female main character, Gigi, is having an affair with her stalker. So it is a little bit. And also, I'm getting ahead of myself, but I'm like really riled up, and I literally just finished and cried and applied my makeup and came up here. So to say that, like, to make that qualifier like that makes it better, I'm going to tell you right now it doesn't. Cheating, not between the love interests. Okay, but she's having an active affair with this man that stands out in the tree line and just watches her out there. And literally, spoiler, the entire book, they talk about how hot it would be if her husband watched them banging. It's literally like cuck fantasy, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's go again. Cheating, not between the love interest. Graphic violence and murder, graphic language on page R, and domestic violence, not between the love interest. Oh, shoo. Wow, okay. Alcohol addiction and codependency with an addict, mentions of infertility and traumatic labor, and explicit sexual situations. There are also kinks such as degradation, breath play, and fear play. Please heed these warnings seriously. Your mental health matters. Okay. Can I switch hands? This is like, I don't know if you saw, I posted about this on a couple of places. I like almost hacked off my finger cutting onions the other day, and we're still healing up. So I'm doing my best. So just bear with me. All right. After the important note is the author's note. First, please keep in mind that this story takes place during the 1940s. Not only was the language slightly different then, but the value of the dollar was vastly different from what it is now. Please tell me more. Tell me more. Like, does he have a car? Can you explain the 1940s livelihood to me? Can you explain the society and the financial state of the economy? Just explain it to me real quick. Like, I am feisty today. I think maybe it's got something to do with this. While I tried to state accurate and on time period, some liberties may have been taken for the sake of the story. Sorry, I'm in the future. Second, if you're reading this after the cat and mouse duet, then you're familiar with Gigi's diary. Please note that Gigi wrote in her journal every day. So there are hundreds of entries detailing events and information that you may be unaware of. Happy reading. No, it's not. No, it does not. I'm sorry. No, it doesn't. And to say happy reading, what are we doing? Okay, so not only do we have a playlist, but we have also a glossary. Okay, I'm just going to read you some of it because you have no idea. You just can't even imagine the nonsense that's in here, but you're about to, and I am so thrilled for you. The first entry in the glossary, belly up. To go bankrupt. That's what that means. I had no idea. And then we have bird, which is slang for a pretty woman. And then we have broad, a woman. So not a pretty one then, just a regular one. Cool. Blabbermouth, someone who talks too much. Sing like a canary. Clock, to keep track of someone's movements and activities. That's weird. I thought clock meant...
It's not clocking to that I'm standing on business, is it?
Dip, an idiot. Floozy, a common name for a sexually active and oftentimes promiscuous woman. The fuzz, comma, a cop. Listen to me right now, okay? Not a single second of this was needed, and it's dumb. And it reads horribly. I want you to listen. I want you to hear me with both of your ears. That it sucks and it reads terribly. But anyway, thank goodness I know what the fuzz is. And a little funny story for you. Maybe it's funny. You tell me. One, I have this thing that I do where I mix up phrases. I like switch them out and they're wrong. Like if something's in my way and like, causing me to not be able to move forward with something that I'm working on, I'm like, oh yeah, I hit a couple road bumps. I'm like, hold on. No, I meant roadblocks, speed bumps. Like I just smush them together. And one time when I was I was talking to one of my friends and like a cop drove by, I playfully said, oh no, the fluff, because I knew it was something, something around there, but I got it wrong and it was really funny. And now it's a joke, that we say, oh no, the fluff. I know it's fuzz. I didn't need this. I also didn't need you to define gobbledygook, jalopy, numbskull, sauced, or whack/ice/burn/pop/clip, which means tomoida. Yeah, see? So this is this is where we start, and it's really just so dumb, and it only gets worse from here. Good news. So the first thing we have right out of the gate is one of Gigi's infamous journal entries. And allow me, because not only is this incredible, but I have missed these pointless little glimpses into the bland worlds of these nothing characters. My mother always told me I was different. She would spit the word at me like it was rotten fruit on her tongue. I thought it was because of my deep love for Gothic literature. I love that we're starting out this one with mommy issues too. That's just so fun. I can't get enough. And already I'm giggling because H.D. Carlton trying to write an FMC that is edgy, cool, different, and unique. Level impossible always. We started haunting Adeline with her being like, my mother hates me. Sometimes I'm not always sane. How did I get ketchup on the roof of my jalopy? And now this. The most typical dumb shit. I'm different. I like Gothic literature.
I'm weird. I'm a weirdo.
Yeah, and your mom said you were different. That's the word she spit at you. My mom called me a when she found out that I liked women. But yeah, wow. How did you even deal with it? As a child, I told her I wanted to live in a house that was built to look like the insides of their brains. She's talking about Mary Shelley and Edgar Allan Poe. Gothic, dark, spooky, I'd even say. Would you? Wow. Wowzers. Would you say that? Maybe she said you were different because you say dumb shit like this. Have we considered? She goes on to say that even though her mom's been dead for a while, she can still feel her judgment from beyond the grave. You're 35? Letting a man into my home and kissing him? A man who isn't my husband? A man who stood outside my window for weeks watching me from afar? There's something wrong with him. Clearly there's something wrong with me too. Wow, it's giving sometimes I'm not always sane. Also, this kind of judgment, not reserved and exclusive to your mother. Okay, we're all judging you. We all are. Prologue. All right, so completely useless little chunk here, highlighted by almost 4,000 people. What's your name? Ronaldo. Do you want to hurt me, Ronaldo? Never. I only want to cherish you, Genevieve. How do you know my name? I know everything about you, just as I know you will love me too. Eyes rolling so hard, they just bowled a 300 down at the local bowling alley /bar /underground casino /pool hall /arcade. Alright, so chapter 1, The Phantom. Oh yeah, this is dual POV between the mafioso Ronaldo and the cheeky little bird, God damn. He is the Phantom and she is the Raven, which makes sense because not only is she a bird, she likes Edgar Allan Poe. She's super weird, so dark, different.
I'm a weirdo.
So we find our man at the scene of a crime. He's like already, whacked a couple of somebodies today, and now he's about to whack another one, and he just loves it. He loves it. Now, the person he's whacking by day is a mechanic, but at night he's like an informer or something for the Salvatore family. Does any of this matter?
Typically, I leave this job for the enforcers in the Salvatore family, but ending a man's life offers a release like no other vice. Cigarettes, whiskeys, birds, none of them have the same effect. It's their damn talking that threatens the peace I find after making a heart stop.
Would love a diagram of that sentence. That is such shit. There's not a better way to say that. Not one. Okay. Anyway, the kid first, pleads with him and then tries to punch him on his bad side.
This kid is stupid to think I'm not used to men attempting to take advantage of my disability. I slap his fist away easily, then pop him in the nose for daring to try.
Missed opportunity to say something like, socked him in the kisser, but you're the professional, not me. Also, full disclosure, he's blind in his left eye. That's the disability that he's talking about.
I tied cinder blocks to his feet. If anyone discovers his body, they'll find a bullet through his mouth. You're a rat worm. You were feeding information to the Baldellis, I remind him dryly. Angelo nicknamed him for his pinched facial features and grating voice.
Ah, yes, nothing bothers me more than the grating voice of a worm. That's the first thing I think about when I think about a worm.
No worms on the bed!
Also, since we're taking a second, what do you mean put a bullet through his mouth? They'll find a bullet through his mouth. What does that mean? Obviously I know what you're talking about, what you're trying to say, okay? We've been here many times together, haven't we? What you're trying to say is you put a pistol in his mouth. They'll find a bullet through his head, his skull, and that's a clear message, right? But what you said was through his mouth. So are you just shooting it through the cheek, out one, or did you up through his lips, like a labret piercing? I just don't. It's her job to write. It's clearly not her job to write well. So he goes through a bunch of paragraphs explaining mafia stuff to him, and that's literally all I said. Paragraphs about mafia stuff. Salvatore's, Baldelli's, and now Ronnie has to ice some guy, and okay. So he does. He pew-pews him and then jumps him over the railing into the water.
Finally, some goddamn peace and quiet. I roll my neck, relieving the tension gathered in my shoulders. Not only is their begging useless, but quite bothersome too.
Yeah, not just useless, but bothersome as well. That's great. You've mentioned.
Heading back towards my car on the other side of the bridge, I whistle the tune of Just One More Chance by Bing Crosby.
Of course you do. And there's a little fedora image in the pages to show a passing of time or a break in the text, and it's so fun. We love it. So he's now back at his boss's house, Angelo, and he's listening in on a loud conversation that other people are having, and just decides to go on up there and see what all the fuss is about. So he leans in and asks them what they're talking about, and takes a moment to tell us that Santino's only 17, and while he's invested in the family business, he's also a blabbermouth. Today it's a good thing, but one day it might get him iced. This entire thing reads the way it feels to listen to Father Figure by Taylor Swift. I protect the family. I drink that brown liquor. I can make deals with the devil because my dick's bigger. Taylor, please. Did you write this? So apparently some guy named Tommy was playing a game of poker with some other guy, and now that guy owes this guy money, and they might have to whack him if he doesn't pay up. I don't know. The setup is that it's John Parsons. Parsons. That's familiar. Yeah, that's the name of Parsons Manor, which is where Adeline lived in book 1, and it is the setting of most of this now. So John Parsons is the husband of Genevieve Parsons, aka Gigi, our FMC, and they together have a daughter named Serafina, who is 13, going on 14, going on 3. I'm getting ahead of myself again. They call him Ronnie, and he tells us that he does not like this because it was his father's name, and I don't give a And listen, I thought that the occasional Italian slang language phrase thrown into the Does It Hurt novel was rough, and this is worse. It's worse. Look at me in my eyes. So the next thing we see is he's strolling up to Parsons Manor because he wants to get a look at John Parsons and see what exactly we're dealing with. But it's not John he sees. Oh no. It's that pretty little bird sitting in the window reading or writing something, He also notes that the whole thing looks like a Gothic cathedral. Places like that aren't looking like this around here, not around these parts, and then there's like a flower bed that's full of all these colorful flowers, and he's like, weird to see so much color in such a dark place. And then he sees Gigi up in the window.
A tall, curvy woman sits down in a chair directly in front of the glass. Instantly, I'm riveted by the sight of her. Red stains her full lips, and her black tresses are curled to perfection. She wears a canary yellow dress, the sleeves drooping down the sides of her arms, the fabric clinging to her curved waist. Let me tell you something, he must have such immaculate vision.
I am sitting next to a window right now, and if my husband was standing down there, I don't think he would be able to tell you what color lipstick I was wearing. I just really don't see that as a reality. That seems a little far-fetched, a little ridiculous to me. But honestly, pull up a chair. That's what's for dinner all the time. Yum, yum, yum. Gobbledygook. We're having fun. Anyway, he's immediately smitten because of course he is, because that's literally all it takes. And so he starts to creep up closer to get a better look at her. He's riveted. She must be possessed. Must be his. The standard shit for things like this. And just then, she spots him and their eyes lock. I came here to learn who John Parsons is, and the only thing I know is that he comes home to the most beautiful woman alive, and he doesn't deserve it one damn bit. How do you know that? Because he owes your partner money? You're in the mafia. You are a criminal. That's literally your job. You might not have any other skills. I would bet money and lose it to the Baldoni family or what the hell ever that you don't have any other skills. I mean, John's not a good guy, but I think he's only a bad guy to kind of serve as a smokescreen for what this book is actually trying to do. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. So he's just enamored with her and wants to possess her, and he's so invested to know her in every possible way. And he's like, oh my God, is she going to write in her journal about me? Calm down, okay? You act like you've never seen a beautiful woman before, and you know what? Maybe he hasn't. Maybe all that he ever does is ice rats. She plagues my mind, infecting it like a parasite and overriding any autonomy over myself. My free will is indebted to her, and without her, I am nothing. Calm down. I shut the door to my Cadillac and can only sit there and mourn the life of John Parsons' wife. She'll never be the same, as I am not. Her husband has unintentionally dragged her into a world where she doesn't belong, yet it's I who will never let her leave. Chapter 2. I can't believe that was only one chapter. Oh, well, okay. So chapter 2 is The Raven, which is our girl Genevieve, Gigi. It does not matter. It matters not. All right. So Gigi POV, right? She mentions the 5 construction workers that were said to have perished during the construction of Parsons Manor. Adeline mentions this too, and this is so exciting because that means that we'll probably have not ghosts in here too. That's great. That's one of my favorite features of the book, titled Haunting Adeline. There's not a goddamn ghost ever. There's a tickle, there's a tingle, there's a feeling. That's it. And so I'm just expecting more of the same here. That's so great. We're eating good in the neighborhood. Okay, so she's talking about that, and then she's stressed out because apparently they are in debt, and she just became privy to it. What are we gonna do? We might not be able to pay the mortgage. We might not be able to find food. What is little Serafina gonna do? I mean, she works in a deli part-time, and it's not out of the realm of reality these days with the war going on. World War II, by the way, if you didn't know. For children to take care of the bills on their families, but I don't want that for her. Okay, great. 5 men have perished in this home. Some days I wonder if I'll meet my own tragic end here too. I'm sure my husband will be the culprit. With the stress he's causing me, my heart is destined to give out. We have no money and no friends or family we can lean on. We have nothing, and we are alone in our nothingness. Damn, girl. That's crazy. She goes on to describe marrying John and how charming he was, and how he made all these promises, and that he kind of love bombed her, and he did build this house for her and exactly to her weirdo specifications. But he made promises he hasn't been able to keep, and now this? And now also, there's a man lurking in the trees? That can't be good. John must have pissed off the wrong people. Yeah, really putting 2 and 2 together there. So Serafina and her freckles come in and ask for lunch, a sandwich with which silly goose Sarah swears up and down tastes better when her mama makes it, even though we use the same ingredients. Great. Hi. Doy. That is not revolutionary. This does not make an intriguing little intimate interaction with your characters. It's common sense. Everybody knows that if someone else makes you a sandwich, it tastes better than when you make your own. I don't know why. It just simply is. All that debt must mean you can't afford a personality for the girl, huh? Yeah, okay, great. Or like genuine inside jokes and mother-daughter closeness. You have to just pull something shit like I can't even begin to tell you how annoying this mother-daughter banter back and forth throughout the book is. I hate it. I don't even know what to say. Oh God. But this dumbassery, the little non-personality kid ass having shit, is just the tip of the iceberg of what's really got me like this right now. So allow me.
What are you hungry for, Sweet Pea? How about elephant tails? Ew, no. Panda tongue, giraffe hooves. Mom! Okay, fine. How about a turkey sandwich? Or turkey feet? Ma'am, you said that this child is 13 years old. And as a mother of teenagers myself, you've clearly never spoken to a 13-year-old before. Never interacted with anybody around that age.
Definitely didn't go out of your way to do it to research this relationship and this characterization for your book, because God forbid we do some research. That sounds hard. Anyway, after that lovely little moment they shared, they go on. She makes the sandwich. She gives it to her. And then Sarah, mouthful of turkey sandwich, tells Gigi, her mother, that Daddy said he was going to buy me a car. And she's like, oh, did he? And she's like, yeah, it's like this kind. It's like really expensive. And he says that I'm going to get it. He's going to get it for me. And she's like, well, that'll be something that I have to talk to your dad about. Because she's trying to shield Serafina from the perils of their lives.
But ooh, this really has her steamed, because how dare he? How dare he make promises to his daughter that he knows damn well he can't keep?
I don't know, fam. He did the same to you, and you married him, so...
By the time John stumbles his drunk ass back home, she is seething. I mean, this man had birds lined up around the block when I met him, and yet I'm the one he chose. And now this. What a disgrace.
He gives her a letter from her best friend Daisy, who serves absolutely zero purpose. Absolutely not one single shred of purpose does this woman serve. And then after he gives her the letter, she gives him his ass on a platter, confronting him about the luxury car lies and Serafina and the unpaid bills. He says that he'll fix it. She's not buying it, probably because they're poor.
I've married a dip. Do you realize how unbelievably dangerous that is? John, if you're caught, you could end up in the hoosegow, or worse, you could... I can't even bear to finish that sentence.
Another thing that I've kind of touched on when we were in... I'm sorry. Another thing that I touched on when we were in the glossary section is how much I hate this language. Like, I really, really do. It feels so forced. It's not organic at all. It doesn't flow. It reads so corny, cheesy, dumb. It's so bad.
I've married a dip and off to the hoosegow with you in the paddy wagon, merci.
Okay, Muggsy, calm down.
I hear you, Muggsy.
It literally, it's so awkward and uncomfortable to read that it just completely breaks you out of any semblance of a plot or a storyline that you want to sink into. Like, you're not immersed. There's no way to immerse in these books. That's the thing. Unless your brain is off, which, good for you. But if your brain is on, like mine, unfortunately, God, it's on. And you're in here and she just starts to, dip, bird, hoosegow, paddy wagon, jalopy. I know. I can't breathe. I can't sink into this because every single time it feels like you're punching me in the throat with this dumbassery. It's giving like this scene from Will and Grace.
I have been known to get a little crazy in the boudoir. Some might even call me kinky.
Sweetheart, people who are truly kinky never use the word kinky.
And who the hell says boudoir? Look at me. I'm kinky, and I'm in the boudoir.
Anyway, he's like, I'll fix it. And she's like worried. She's like, what am I to do? I'm a housewife with no skills. John never wanted me to work. He wanted me home with Sarah. We wanted a big family. And now what? Now there's a man in the bushes and we don't have any money. Who's scowl? I don't know. And then we have a journal entry, and it basically says everything we just talked about. They're in trouble. She knows that they have money problems. She's disappointed in John and who he's becoming. Serafina deserves to be protected from all of this knowledge because this is all she knows, her stable little life, and she wants to keep it that way. And this fool had the audacity to put in the author's note that these journal entries might give you insights and information you might not have known. No, I did, because the whole chapter is just what this is. Yeah. My husband is ruining our lives. We'll be left out to the street. Kisses. And it is wild to me. It only gets wilder because I know that this is part of it. Like Gigi writes in her journal and she puts a red lipstick kiss at the bottom of each entry. But she will write the most soul-shattering events down in this book. Like none of it matters to me because who gives a count me in for why the fuck would I give a shit? But she will write stuff like, we're going to be out on the street with nothing. Serafina's going to have to turn tricks just to put food on the table. Kisses. Like, it's so dumb if you just imagine it. I don't know what's to become of me. John has us in so deep that we don't even know where the surface is anymore. Me and my darling daughter, who deserves the world, might end up out on our keisters by tomorrow morning with nothing and no one to help us. I fear for what our future looks like. Chapter 3, The Raven. There's a strange man outside my window. He wears a black fedora and a trench coat, and he shields his face from me. I'm terrified, yet I'm also intrigued. Even through the glass,
I'm looking at you through the glass.
I swear I can feel his burning stare. Yeah, that's how glass works. It's caressing my face, down the column of my throat, and over my breasts. Still, I do nothing. I'm terrified, but I'm also intrigued. I know, you said that. I got it. So a couple days later, Frank, which is who's a detective and is best friends, BFFs with John, comes over to check on everything, and he's like, he catches her like just staring out the window, and he's like, "You looking for something out there?" And she goes, "No one." Way to play it cool. Serafina will never know anything. You are clearly a master of deception, secrets, and lies. He didn't ask you if you were looking for someone. He said something. God damn. They chat a little bit about how the problems, you know, the gambling, the drinking, and how Frank's probably to blame because he's the one who keeps taking him over there. And he's like, "Well, you try getting John to do something he don't want to do." We know, yeah, blah. And then he also creepily offers like help. He's like, "Well, I paid the mortgage for you, dame, so that you don't have to worry about a thing. You and Sarah are everything. I'll take care of you no matter what." And she's like, "It's weird he doesn't say he'll take care of John and us. He just says us. It's very strange." I really hate this trope where the main character has the attention of all the males around her and she wants to act like a dumb doo-doo head about it. Oh my god, what on earth could have possessed him to treat me in such a way? He wants to bone you. Ta-da. She info dumps about how now that he's done this favor for them, that she now owes him, and so does John, and like she doesn't like being indebted to anybody. And then she info dumps about how like she's glad now that they don't have a big family, and this is when she mentions like she had a traumatic birth with Sarah, which led to a hysterectomy, and then it never comes up again. It's never mentioned again. It's barely even a whisper. Sarah is more than enough for us, but there's always been a residual pain on the backside of my heart. Backside of your heart, huh?
It's the backside of water!
Grieving the children I'd never have. That's very real, but also let's just be thankful that it's on the back end of your heart, right? And not like up front. I feel like up front would be more of a problem for your day to day. She ends this chapter with him being like, "I'll do anything for you guys," you know, again, and she's uncomfortable with it. And then there's, of course, a journal entry, which is really great because it tells us, again, remember, things that we might not know otherwise. Would you like to hear it? Okay. There's a strange man outside my window. He wears a fedora on his head, concealing his face from me. I'm very afraid of this strange man, but my God, am I also intrigued?
You said that already!
Kisses! Chapter 4, The Phantom. He's in the trees. He's hiding in the trees. And he's also hiding a little bit of a grin because after all of these weeks of him being out there and watching her, she still doesn't lock her door. Did you leave it unlocked for me, baby? Does she write about me in the pages of her journal? Earlier today, she was staring out the window, a mournful look on her face. It wasn't the first time I'd seen her appear sad, nor the first time I'd longed to run to her and make her forget about the husband I'm sure is ailing her. I could make her forget if I was inside her. Oh, yeah?
Gross.
This is the day he goes inside, though. Yes, he does. He takes a little stroll. Into her house. He doesn't get into her today. No. Just the house. He's in and he looks around and he's like, where the hell does she get her weird whack-ass taste from? And it's just like, it's a gothic house with black checkered tile, a chandelier, and red velvet couches. It is not that weird, okay? It might be a strange design choice for the time, but you're a mafia boss. And I've seen Scarface, okay? You guys have some extravagant taste yourself. You're acting like she made tiles out of grinding the bones of elephants and then pressing them into the concrete. It is just a black and white checker tile.
My footsteps are light as I walk over to the chair, running my fingertips along the soft red velvet, and then I lean down and inhale, catching a whiff of her perfume. I pick up subtle accords of cinnamon, amber, oak moss, sandalwood, and a touch of plum, a scent made just for her.
A perfumer, huh? I mean, maybe he does have skills. I said he didn't, but maybe I spoke too soon. This man has a lot of talents, actually. Because, like, what the fuck does oak moss smell like? Oak moss? Me liking. Get it? Because it's lichen. It's like a mixture of fungi and algae. Lichen. It's a fungi joke. Because I'm a fun guy. He wanders around and imagining all of these little tender moments that the family shares in these spaces and just aches because he won't ever get to be a part of it. And John doesn't deserve it. Again, I don't know what you're basing this on. He's committing crimes with your crime family. I feel like y'all should be buddies, but it's hard to be a buddy with somebody when you're wanting to fuck his wife. He continues to wander through the house looking for where her room is, and he assumes that it would be like close to Seraphina's because she just loves her so much, but not too close in case they want to mix it up, you know?
If I had it my way someday in the future, John will be gone and Sarah will know me as a secondary father.
This is creep behavior.
I would never attempt to replace John, but I hope to find a way into her heart and will love her as Genevieve does, but that'll take time. I can be patient.
It's just so many red flags. This is utter delusion and lunacy. That's what this love affair is. It's a love between delusion and lunacy. Mafia? Fine. Tree line voyeurism? Why not? Standing in the home and fantasizing about being a secondary father to a girl you've never met, the daughter of a woman you've also never met but just become obsessed with because you want to do her so badly, is creep behavior. Not hot, not, he wants to be a father to my children. Anyone who is this antsy to be a father to your children? I don't know. I shouldn't say that because there are good men out there, right? Not all men. We know that. But I find it to be a red flag. So in the search for her room, he finds Sarah's room. And again, get out of the girl's bedroom. And also, why can't you locate the bedroom of the woman that you're obsessed with, that you've been watching from outside her bedroom window daily for weeks? Why can't you find it? Just seems like you would be able to find it, you know, and not have to wander in on a sleeping girl in her bedroom in the middle of the night in her home where she's supposed to feel safe. But what do I know? Okay, so anyway, as he closes her door behind him and he like continues down the hallway to find Gigi, a chill runs up his back. I love when the not ghosts show up. And he says,
I've faced far worse souls than those of a few construction workers.
Cool. He finds Gigi's room, which she shares with her husband, Frank. And so he goes in and he sees John. He sees John sleeping there, and it enrages him so that this man gets to sleep next to her and doesn't deserve it, that he pulls his gun out of his pants, his breeches, trousers. And he doesn't aim it, but he wants to. And so he goes over to Gigi's side to kind of calm down because he's like so rage, so fury. Gigi is just there sleeping with her little hands tucked under her little angelic cheek. Picturesque if I ever saw one. I have never met anyone that sleeps like that, but go off. He's standing there menacingly, like Edward Cullen in the night, daydreaming about her and doing it to her all kinds of nasty and hurting her and whatever. You know the deal.
The carnal impulse to take her here and now is becoming difficult to suppress. I'd make her pathetic husband watch.
You remember what I said? Do you remember what I said about how this is really just cuck fantasy affair romance? That's what this is. This isn't a mafia romance. That is a smokescreen. This isn't like the breaking down of a marriage and someone coming along and sweeping you off your feet in the throes of your sadness and your misery and your woe. This isn't about about how are we going to pay our bills and all this stuff, all this other nonsense bullshit that's here, and the stuff that's yet to come up. And I don't want to spoil it for you because we're working through it and I'm getting ahead of myself anyway. All of this stuff only serves as a distraction and a way of making the fact that these people want to fantasize about making her stupid husband watch them have an affair and it be okay. It's softening what the truth of this whole thing is. And so, yeah, it's not a dark mafia romance. It's a cuckold fantasy affair romance.
Unable to stop me from making his wife come undone in a way that he would never accomplish.
Ew. So he tucks his gun back in his breeches and leaves, and he says he doesn't want to be a monster to her. He wants to be her savior. Puke. He's outside again. This is a fedora time skip, and he's smoking a cigar, and he talks about how his dad always smoked a cigar, and he doesn't really like to do it, but here he is doing it anyway. Lots of daddy issues in here. He's just such a cool gangster guy, right? Leaned up against the tree, smoking some sort of cigar, and they continue to make eyes at each other every now and then when she spots him out there. And that's when he notices
the milkman delivery guy coming up the road.
I said that just now, right? And there's no need. Do you need any further explanation? Like, do you require me to paint some vivid picture of what this looks like? No? Okay, well, too bad because he does.
A milk truck is cruising up her driveway. The curved front end reads Seattle Dairy. The driver's side is doorless, allowing the worker to get in and out quickly. The back end of the truck is completely open with a flat bed and a metal canopy over it to protect the glass containers of milk piled beneath.
That's a great point, Diane. Thank you so much for bringing that up. Anyway, the super hot milkman climbs out of this truck, this doorless truck, in a real tight little milkman outfit. And old Phantom, Ronnie Boy, is big jealous because how dare he approach my woman when no one else is home? She's all alone. He's doing his job. He collects the empty milk bottles and replaces them with full ones. And her husband is at work, and her daughter is at school, and her job is a housewife, and she receives the milk. What are we doing? And he says too, he's like,
it's no secret that with their men overseas, women invite milkmen into their house all the time.
Okay, if it's no secret, why are you telling me? And he knows this milkman, by the way. His name is Ernie, and he knows this because, like, one of the people in the mafia has a woman attached to him in some sort of a familial tie, and she wants to bone Ernie too. Imagine being so lonely that you want to bang a beloved puppet just to feel something.
Hey, you. Why are you looking like that?
War affects all of us, doesn't it? But thankfully for Ronnie, the not ghosts seem to scare old Ernie away. I guess he's not a fan of Parsons Manor. And that's good, because if Gigi dared invite him in, which is a decision that she's making as a consenting adult woman who can do whatever the fuck she wants, he would kill him. Thank God for the not ghosts, though. So no, we don't have to worry about that. Woohoo! Another Gigi journal entry at the end of a Ronnie chapter. I don't know. I don't think this makes any sense. This makes no sense. But even if it did make sense, the journal entry is, again, completely pointless. She talks about her best friend Daisy, how she tells her everything, except about her phantom. But yeah, I mean, it's fair game to tell her that your husband's a loser, he's a drunk, he's gambling away all of your livelihood and making it to where y'all can't pay bills and stuff. But no, we don't tell her about the phantom in the trees. And like, yeah, I wouldn't either. Thanks for spilling. You spilled air. There's nothing here. Chapter 5 is the Raven. She's in the, sitting at her vanity and applying her red lipstick, and she smudges it. I'm a fool. Like, she's getting all dolled up for her stalker, right? And like, I agree, you are a fool, but not really just for that. There's so many reasons to choose from. So John is drunk from last night still, but he did mosey on to work, and Sarah is at school, so it's just her and her lipstick against the world today. Or is it? Today feels different. Like something more than his lurking beyond my window will happen. What? Like something more than his lurking beyond my window will happen. Horrible. And for reasons I refuse to consider, I've done my makeup heavier today and am wearing my best day dress. She goes on about her chores, occasionally checking out the window to see if her shadow shows up. He doesn't. Dag nabbit, ain't that just the pits? The funny thing here, though, there's so much humor. But the note that I made is that she said to, hold on, slump onto the bar stool where bank notices litter the countertop. I thought you were trying to hide this from Serafina. Like, I know that she's 13, so I assume two things, that she can read and that she can see over the countertop, right? But I'm starting to think that this girl is like a Benjamin Button back and forth through time kind of girl, because that whole elephant tails, giraffe knuckles, goose livers, like that whole thing, that would make my children not speak to me for a few hours. My teenage children. Now, a 5-year-old, 8. That joke would have killed when my kids were in pre-K, okay? But my kids aren't in pre-K. They're teenagers now. And when I asked my son about this, he said specifically, I would not be your friend anymore. That's how I'm received if I make these jokes, okay? It's not accurate to her age. And we see this a lot throughout the text. I'm getting ahead of myself again, but here it is. I'm in the future, and this is what I do. She'll say something like, is daddy coming home? But she's 13. She's 13. Top of her class. Smarty pants, okay? And she talks like this. Ew. Anyway, still no sign of the phantom, so she starts to get a little grumpy, but just then she hears the front door creak open. And in walks her phantom, and she knows it's him. She can just tell. But she's too scared. She's frozen. She can't even turn around. She can't bring herself to face him. Actually, what she says is, terror encases my being in solid ice. So do you mean ice like frozen water, or do you mean like iced as the glossary defined it? She registers his scent first. Sandalwood, oranges, just a hint of tobacco. Are these just drug-sniffing dogs in human form? Like, I notice when a man smells good. I notice when a woman smells good. A person, if I may, I'll notice. Like, if we're out and you walk by me and you smell nice, I notice it. I'm like, ooh, that's a nice smell. And I might go even further. I'm like, ooh, I really like whatever perfume she was wearing. Very floral or very earthy, woodsy. I love that. Not... I'm detecting notes of plum. I don't fucking know. This is not reality. You guys are insane, stupid. Anyway, he's like scoping her out, and she's again still frozen, but then he wanders around to the front of her, and she gets to see him for the very first time. He's breathtaking. He's so very tall, donning an all-black attire with his fedora, long trench coat, button-up shirt, trousers, and dress shoes. It should be a drab outfit, but he looks expensive thanks to the glinting gold ring adorning his pinky finger. He even smells expensive. Listen to me. I know what he's wearing. You've known what he's wearing for weeks now. This is the first time you're seeing him, and you have to waste my time on his outfit? Get to the good stuff. There is no good stuff. And what do you mean his drab outfit is elevated by a pinky ring? Like, I am of the belief that accessories can really elevate your outfit. It can be a whole vibe, but it's a pinky ring, and he's a grown man, and he seems to be wearing very nice tailored clothing that doesn't look drab or sound drab at all. He's wearing a fedora, for Christ's sake. The man stares down at me with piercing pale blue eyes nestled beneath thick dark brows, a contrast to his olive skin, though something is off with the left one. Instead of a black pupil, it's completely blue, giving his eye an almost translucent effect. He's blind in that eye, and my curiosity peaks as to... Hello, I'm talking. My curiosity peaks as to how it happened. I got nothing. So he literally just stands there and stares at her, says nothing. Never in my 34 years has a man made my breath stutter. But this man, he commands the very lungs beneath my bones. I hear you, Muggsy. She asks what his name is. He says nothing, trails a finger down her cheek and neck, and leaves. Scandalous. Delicious. Oh my God, I'm so hooked and can't wait for more. Later, she is seen planting a kiss on her journal just as a drunken slob husband wanders in and mutters something about Hitler ain't gonna win this war, and then just face plants. She scolds him for being drunk and coming home late and whatever, and she looks at it. He says sorry or something, and she tries to get him to the shower. He asks her why she's all dolled up so late, and she's like, I didn't get around to my journal until now. And they look at each other, and she says, like, I don't even recognize this man. He's more of a stranger to me than the man outside my window. Doubtful. Y'all might be going through something right now, but no, you don't know any of these people. I wish I didn't know any of these people. So she gets him in the shower. He says he loves her. She says nothing back and then goes to bed and daydreams about her phantom. And then we get a journal entry that is telling us all of that, or again. He came back, Came inside. Blue eyes. Big and hot man candy. I froze. He touched me. He said nothing. He left. Kisses. Forgive me, I had to pause and take a spaghetti break. You ever need one of those? Okay, where were we? Ah, yes, hell. Chapter 6, The Phantom. We're back.
If there's one thing I've learned about Genevieve Parsons, it's that she's as devoted to writing in her journal as she is to her husband. I have no plans to come between her and her penmanship, but the latter, that I would love nothing more than to change.
I don't know why I went Jersey. Probably because it's Jersey Shore. We've got a main character named Ronnie. Ron!
Are you friends with her, yes or no?
Oh my God.
Ron, look at my face. Are you gonna kill my husband, yes or no?
Okay, back to what I just read. I have no plans to come between her and her penmanship. Yeah, you wouldn't want to come between a woman and her handwriting, would you? But yeah, breaking up her marriage, easy peasy. And also, like, I've learned that she is as devoted to writing in her journal as she is to her husband. What are you basing this on? Just because she didn't bone the milkman? The milkman got scared off by the not ghosts. That doesn't mean that she hasn't before and wouldn't again do the milkman. You have no idea what you're talking about.
You're talking absolute shit again.
So he's loitering out in the rain like the drama queen that he is, and John apparently like leveled out. I don't know, he paid his debt, but then he got a whole nother one, and he's even deeper in debt now. Oh no, holy smokes, what are we gonna do? And he knows that his boss is gonna like want to escalate it so that John stops jerking them around, and that Gigi might be collateral damage. Yikes. A means to an end, but she's more likely to end him. Dun, dun, dun.
If Genevieve is my end, then I open the door to death with no hesitation.
It's not that serious. It's never been that serious. It never will be that serious. He goes into the mansion again, and he finds Gigi with a wild look in her eye, and it probably matches the one in his. He's sure of it.
If you wanted to hurt me, you would have done so by now, she breathes, almost as a placation to her own fearful thoughts. She's wrong. I do want to hurt her.
I'm sorry. This accent is just getting away from me, and I think it's because I just ate spaghetti. Woo! Anyway, he goes on to tell us that husbands aren't supposed to hurt their wives the way he wants to hurt her. Okay, and then that's probably why she's standing there looking at him like he's a snack and a half, because John's dick game is whack. Wait, whack means kill. If he killed her with his dick game, then that would mean it was good. I'm having a hard time keeping up with this little colloquialisms. And also, dude, you are just making shit up in your mind. Like, you have no idea if the D is bomb from her husband. You don't know. You're just making it up. He moves closer to her and she asks, "Why won't you speak to me?" And he thinks to himself, because she's not ready. What is she not ready for? Do you have a Muppet voice? She's not ready to hear what I plan to do with her. To her. Most of all, she's not ready to hear that I won't be letting her go. Not ever. Okay, yawn, boring. He wants to touch her, but Sarah will be home soon, so he just leaves instead. Dips on out of there. No, Dip is a dumb person. No, that fits. He dumb person's out of there. So the fedora pops up, so that means a time skip. And now we're at, I guess, the house that he lives in or his boss lives in. And they're just like info dumping a bunch of names. It's literally like reading Genesis in the Bible, the Christian Bible. It's just names. Noah beget Ishmael, beget Judas, beget blah, blah, blah. It's just names. Angelo has 4 sons. 2 of them are in the war. 2 of them aren't. 2 of them might be. I don't know. It makes no sense and it doesn't matter. So I didn't write any of it down. None of this fucking matters. Nothing matters. Wow, we get dark. So I wrote, someone got pinched and turned against someone, right? Someone owes someone money. And this person has run the crime syndicate for years. And now this person, blah, who cares? I don't care. So they're at a mafia restaurant, right? The family business, I guess. I don't know. And they're eating and there's nobody in there that's a concern to them right now. And they're talking to somebody in the mafia with them, right? And Ronnie notes that it feels off. Like something feels off. Yeah, see? I don't see.
Yet it still feels like something's off.
Ain't all about Donnie's rats,
Marco retorts, scoffing.
Last time a Baldoni got pinched, he was singing like a canary.
Meow, see? Meow. I hear you, Bugsy.
I don't know what's going on. None of this matters. It does not. It's of no import. I wrote in the script, I would wager my firstborn child that none of this actually ever matters. Bet, guess what? She's cleaning up and gets to keep her son because none of this ever fucking matters. Someone requests to put a contract on someone else before he can rat us out to the fuzz. Someone is sleeping with the daughter of a rival family, somebody, and he should have known better. Meow, see, meow, yeah, whatever. Anyway, they keep talking. God help me, they keep talking. And then all of a sudden,
There was a firefight!
all through the restaurant, there was a car. It pulled up out front, pulled a Tommy gun, and just blazed a magazine through the whole place. I don't know. I am from the future. And also 1988. And of course, our guy already clocked this.
You're not getting it. It's not clocking to you.
It's not clocking to you that he's standing on business, is it?
Run. Run, stop.
And he tackles his boss to the ground. To safety, shoo. I roll Angelo beneath the table, lying on top of him to shield him from the spray of bullets as an enforcer unleashes a magazine into the building. Oh my God, that's literally almost what I said. I shouldn't write 1940s slang mafia books, and neither should. And thank God for the glossary, man, or I would be completely lost. I would have no way of knowing what that means. He emptied a magazine in the restaurant. I didn't even know you could empty magazines. I thought those were just for word reading. So they squeal off the car with the Tommy gun. There's a song that's playing in the car on the speakers as they do. And Ronnie and his boss sit up and they're loudly singing the song to each other as everyone in the restaurant is crying and regathering themselves after being attacked.
Run, look at my face.
You're a freak! Chapter 7, The Raven. She is cleaning out a dish in the sink that's already clean when her 4 going on 13 going on 4-year-old wanders up and says, Mama, is Daddy okay? I don't know, my dear perpetual preschooler. Are any of us okay? That's what she thinks. She doesn't say it, but she thinks it. She has shielded and protected Sarah from a lot, and she doesn't know how that might be going in the next few days. And then Sarah says, he smells like whiskey when he comes home now. I close my eyes, so very disappointed that she knows that. How? How does she know that? She thought it was funny, if not slightly annoying, but mostly amusing, that you offered to cook her turkey feet and elephant tails for lunch. What? And now she knows that he smells like whiskey. You can't write a consistent character, can you?
You can't do anything.
Gigi's yeah, he's been indulging a little. And then Sarah clicks back into I don't know, somewhere around 12. I don't know. He better not do it at my birthday. And you did it at my birthday dinner. And she tells us that she's turning 14 this weekend. But her birthday's on Friday, but we're having a party on Saturday. And hopefully we can scrounge up some coin to get some sugar so that these heathens have something to snack on. Stupid, stupid, stupid. Stop it. None of this matters. I beg you to shut up. And then she's like, listen, Sarah, I will do everything in my power to make sure he doesn't mess up your birthday. And then Sarah goes, you, back to 4-year-old and says, do you think he drinks because he doesn't love me anymore? No, I think he drinks because of who you are as a person. This girl just went back and forth through time, several times. She's 4. Is Daddy okay, woo? She's 20. He smells like an 18-year-old Johnny Walker Black last night. He wandered in hammered. He better not do it at my party or I'll just die. And then she goes back to 4. It's do you think he drinks because he doesn't love me no more? I am so tired of you. Sarah, your dad loves you. We both do. Don't ever doubt it. Kind of thing. And she's going to figure out how to make her B-Day awesome. She'll figure it out like she always does. I pepper a few more kisses on the top of her head and release her. She's at that age where my hugs have time limits now. Well, listen, buddy. If you just wait a few minutes, she might age on back to pre-K and you can wrap her in an embrace for as long as you want until she ages back up and hates you again. But then, just as she's releasing her X-Men of a daughter, she notices the drawings that Sarah has been, drawing. A man, a trench coat, a fedora. She asks her about it and she's like, I don't know. I just thought I saw him outside the window, but every time I look back, he's gone. Maybe he's not real. Parsons Manor is haunted, has been since the moment I moved in. Those poor souls that lost their lives here are angry. They always have been. Are they? Would love to see it manifest in some kind of a way. She also says that she worries that she'll join them one day, which again is another thing that we've already talked about. I don't know why we're still doing this. And then she says too that she's connected to the house in some way. When she's angry, the temperature drops as if the house is a part of her. Cool. Get it? Cool. Temperature. So Frank comes back over and she's like, I thought you were going to help, and over Frank or behind Frank, leering in the shadows is some sort of 7-foot tall red-eyed demon guy.
but she's not worried about it. She's long gotten used to the phantoms of this manor. Maybe that's why I'm not afraid of the one outside.
Maybe. I don't know. He's like, sorry, Jeej, I've been trying.
He hasn't hurt you, has he? She's like, don't be silly. He's like, listen, I'll help you in whatever way I can, even if what you need is comfort. Wink.
Ew, gross, back away, 5 feet. Actually, so she does spill to Frank in this moment that recently John came home so sauced that he didn't even recognize her as his wife. And as she helped him get his spit up stained shirt off, he asked her to not tell his wife about this. And then pinned me to the bed and me, fully convinced I was a random floozy. Not a floozy. Not spit up. Does John time travel too? Because now he's a newborn baby with some spit up on his shirt. I have never heard anybody refer to an adult person's vomit as spit up. Barf, yak. Like, I've heard a lot of things, but spit up is kind of reserved for the newborn baby infant community when they are only drinking milk and they just go blah, blah, a little bit when they spit. It's not, I don't... Okay. So she tells Frank this. He apologized the next day, but he had no memory of doing any of this the night before. And she asks Frank just to help her get her husband back. It's all she wants. Is that the truth, Ellen? I don't think so. And when she says all she wants is for him to get her husband back, he gets angry and like storms out. And she's like, what on earth is with all these men? They want to do you.
I don't know why they're fussing over little old me. I'm just a bird-brained little floozy of a thing.
They want to do you. They want to do you. And I want to end you. Journal. The painful words her mother spit at her are nothing compared to how awful last night was. Yeah, that goes without saying. Didn't need a journal entry for that. Your mom calling you different, derogatory, compared to your husband, who you said you would love forever, violently R-ing you in a drunken stupor where he thinks you're someone else. Yeah, I don't think those are comparable things. And then she says this dumb shit. She liked how primal it was, and if he'd been sober and known who she was, she might have enjoyed it, which is laying groundwork for her to be into something a little kinkier. But hi, I hate that this is how we're doing it. This is not how any of this works. And of course, she not only writes this in her journal, detailing the R that she experienced at the hands of her husband and spousal intimacy. Intimate partner R is very real and very serious. And she's detailing it in her private journal that she's written in every single day for the last 16 years about the pain and how it felt and some of her like conflicting thoughts and how she might have liked it. And she goes, kisses! Like, it's just a wild thing to do. Chapter 8, The Raven. So she apparently has excused herself from dinner to go like have some quiet time to herself reading Edgar Allan Poe in her room by herself. She never excuses herself from dinner. This isn't something that she does unless she's actually sick. Too weak to put on my red lipstick. Wow, no lippy? You must have been feeling pretty bad. And John goes up there after dinner and is like, what's going on with you, Jeej? And oh, brother, here we go again.
I've always been hopelessly called to horror and mystery novels as a young girl, obsessing over Edgar, Mary Shelley, H.P. Lovecraft, and many others. They're the reason I became enraptured with the Gothic style. My mother hated that I read them, but she finally gave in when I became a much more agreeable child with one of their books in my hand. But even Edgar can't save me from my husband tonight.
Hi, I don't care. And neither should you, because you're 35 and your mom is dead. Anyway, he's like, all this attitude, you're throwing toot at me because I forgot your birthday yesterday? So she has a birthday May 15th. And Sarah's birthday was May 5th. And Sarah's went off without a hitch. It was mostly fine. I mean, he was a little sauced, but nothing too crazy. And he completely forgot Jeej. Why have their birthdays at all? Like, why have them, and then also why have them within 10 days of each other? Like, what is the point?
What is the point of this?
But imagine being John and being this much of a dumb doo-doo head. He literally is bankrupting his family, making the future and the stability of their household and their ability to pay bills, calling it into question, making it rocky terrain that they're not sure where to step before they fall to their death.
And he's a drunk who arred her last night. And he's over here like, you throwing toot at me because I forgot your B-Day? But John isn't the only reason that she's feeling a little strange today. The Phantom came back and things got weirdly intense, at least for her. Admittedly, I've long since grown desperate to know his name, so I begged him to tell me. Even offered to get on my knees if he'd only whisper it in my ear. And when that didn't work, I offered him a kiss, even a touch of my breasts or between my legs.
Not the no-no square.
He smiled, yet my scandalous offerings were to no avail. He brushed his fingers along my cheek, tucking a black curl behind my ear and leaving me in a shivering mess in the wake of his electric touch.
Girl, get up. This is so humiliating. I know you're going through a lot. You're going through a lot, and I see you, and I recognize and acknowledge and validate your pain. But this is desperation I simply cannot allow. It's been weeks, and she still hasn't told John about the guy slinking around the tree line of their property. And the guilt is just eating away at her.
John still looks at me with suspicion inked into his irises.
Just the irises, though, guys. Not the pupil, cornea, cones, rods, all clear. It's just the irises. He asks her if she wants to talk to him about anything, and she says no, and he takes a swig of whiskey, and that makes the no even more of a no because he can't stop drinking for like one dadgum diddly second.
She doesn't know him anymore, and I can't bear my secrets to a man who I don't know, who's a stranger to me.
No, yeah, but you can like beg on your knees and offer up your goods, your bits to another stranger just because he wouldn't tell you his name. Yeah, that makes sense. I totally get it. I get it. Fedora Man is also back, and she is just convinced that this is going to go the same way. He's going to come in, she's going to ask him a question, he's not going to say anything, and then he's going to leave. 2 months of this, and she still doesn't know anything. All that she knows, for sure, is that her tummy is filled with traitorous butterflies. Oh no. Sugar, baby. I hope one of those butterflies doesn't flutter by and cause her dress to blow up and expose her farts to the world.
Hi, are you confused by what I just said? Me too, except I'm not, because H.D. Carlton has written about butterflies in this way before. Allow me.
The material ends right below my ass cheeks. A butterfly could flutter by, and my dress would fly up as if it's allergic to the winged creature. If I pass gas, it's over.
Told you. She is just so stressed over this man, saying, I've no idea where my mind has gone, but it certainly isn't in my skull any longer.
Yes, dear, that's a requirement for us being here. Anyway, he's back. She's conflicted. She asks him something, he says nothing. She grabs a knife and threatens to call the cops. Like, maybe I'll find out what your name is when I call them here. And she holds the knife to his throat. And, as a recent victim of self-inflicted knife violence,
I need you to put the knife away. That is not a toy, ma'am.
His scent overtakes her. Quote, sandalwood, oranges, and just a hint of tobacco.
You said that already!
She stomps her foot. I guess she is also a time-traveling toddler at times. Wow, say that 5 times fast. And she's like, it's not funny, because he kind of laughs at her, chuckles or smiles or something. It's not funny. You don't want me, so what do you want?
He shakes his head in disagreement, and when his lips part, I cease to breathe.
I want you so badly it hurts to breathe without you near.
Is he, what am I doing? Where are we?
He whispers softly, finally gracing me with his voice.
Cease to breathe, you say. Wow.
It's so very deep, so rough and alluring, like waves crashing into treacherous boulders beneath a cliff, both incredibly dangerous forces, yet when one is rugged, the other is beautiful, and together they create something mesmerizing.
I love when H.D. Carltons, you know what I mean? She's stunned at this, and all she manages to squeak out is, why? He swipes a thumb across her lip and smudges red lipstick on her chin. What are we doing? What the hell is this? And then he speaks again, and God, I wish he wouldn't.
Because you possess my lungs, as you do my heart, Genevieve, and I intend to take yours for myself.
Sorry. Take her what? You possess my lungs as you do my heart, and I intend to take yours for myself. Are you taking her heart or her lungs? I just need to know if this is like metaphorical, like you're going to steal her heart away, lovey-dovey, or if this is like Repo the Genetic Opera.
Citrate comes in a little glass vial.
A little glass vial? But hey, no need to tell us, because she says that what he just said arrests the oxygen in her lungs.
You're going to jail, Bart. Say goodbye to the wife and tater tots.
She still has the knife to his neck, and so he like puts his hand over her hand holding said knife and like digs it into his throat. Not far, but enough for like a little bead of blood to, you know how it is. You know how it is when a stalker comes in your house and you hold a knife to his throat, but really all you want to do is for him to hold his knife to your everything. He pushes it in, like I said, and says,
I will bleed for you, mi Rosa, but I must require you to bleed for me too.
Okay. And he finally tells her his name. Oh my God. Ronaldo.
Ron.
And he knows hers and that she will love him too. The prologue. Because we're just really down with repeating as many things as we possibly can to get that word count up. He asks her if she will kiss him, right? And I guess like the oxygen that was arrested was out on bail, but they are, picked up for another misdemeanor and they are back in the clink or the hooskow. I'm sorry.
What's your last name? I ask thoughtfully, so I know who to report to the police should you grow too bold. Mirth dances in his strange eyes. What the
does that mean? Mirth? I know what girth means. What does mirth mean? Amusement. Okay. Why didn't she say that? Why didn't she just say that? Okay.
Mirth dances in his strange eyes. Capello, he answers easily. Ronaldo Capello. I hum. One kiss, Mr. Capello. Then you leave.
So she approaches him a little bit more, knife still at his throat.
And she kisses him. Despite how heavy it rains outside, there's no thunder, which cannot exist without lightning. No wonder it's nowhere to be seen.
Thunder is heard, not seen.
I've somehow swallowed it in the moment my lips touched Ronaldo's, and the electrical currents are ravaging my insides.
Oh, you meant the lightning they can't see. Okay, there's no lightning to be seen because it's all inside your little gullet because you swallowed it when you kissed him on the kisser. Oh my God. He moves away from her. They like touch their lips. And he grins and then leaves. I wish I could grin and leave.
She stands frozen in place, wondering, what on earth have I done?
Journal. She tells us everything we just experienced. He came in and spoke to her. She pulled a knife on him. His voice is so deep. He confessed desire for her. His name is Ronaldo Capello. And he asked her for a kiss. She gave him one. It was amazing. He laughed. She felt guilty, but not enough. Kisses. Chapter 9, The Raven. She's up, waiting for John to bring his raggedy ass home. I mean, it is almost 9 p.m. Before all of this, they used to sit down as a family. She had a hot meal waiting for him, like a good wife, and they would talk about each other's days and laugh, and then afterward they would go to the foyer or living room, I don't know, and like dance and play and laugh and smile and all that stuff. But now that he's turned to the bottle and loses all their blasted money, things are different. That does sound hard. I'm not trying to belittle this like in real life scenario. This sounds like it sucks, but I don't care about these people. These people are nothing burgers of elephant tail and goose knuckles. And, like, listen, okay, all that sounds fun, and it's sad that it's gone. Her and Sarah still turn up, though.
But it's different. Sarah's big, sad, wondering when her daddy will come home, and that doesn't help morale. I've tried my best to shield her from his drinking.
Didn't she just fucking clock whiskey breath? Like, she just aged up to a college sophomore and said, Dad smells like whiskey when he comes home. Okay, I really don't think, and I don't think I shelter my kids as much as some people do, but I don't think that if I like made them smell different alcohols, like blind smell test, right, that they would be able to tell me whiskey, vodka, tequila. I don't even think I could do that. Like, what is this 13 going on 14 going on toddler up to that she can understand? I just don't. Oh my God.
I've tried my best to shield her from his drinking, but there have been so many occasions where I failed and she would smell the cheap whiskey on his breath and watch him make a fool of himself as he stumbled and tripped around the house.
Okay, so then you don't need to keep telling me that you tried to hide it from her. You've already said that. And you've also exhibited the contrary, that like you're trying to hide these things from her has not worked. There are bills, past due, late notices all over your countertop. And she knows what whiskey smells like coming off of his nasty ass breath in the middle of the night when he bumbles home.
So shut up telling me this shit. Shut up. She's waiting on him to come home, remember? And she is so upset. She reaches for a Virginia Woolf novel to just chill the fuck out. It's 9:20 when he finally comes home. Wow, I've never. And he asks her, what are you doing up so late? Don't you have to be up in a few hours to get Sarah ready for school? It's 9:20 and Sarah is 14. What get her ready? What do you get her ready for what? It's 9:20. When does she go to school? Like midnight? Gigi's like, F you, FYI, I see, why am I? The school year's over and she graduated top of her class. I guess 7th grade. She must fast forward for exam times. And John's like, oh. And oh my God, she is rage. This guy sucks. He really does. He sucks and he only gets worse. But so does everybody in this book.
They fight. She tries to keep her voice down, but he's drunk and stupid. So, the likelihood of that happening is slim to none. And, he's like, you journal all day and I finally have a hobby and it's wrong. Your hobby is endangering the welfare of your entire family. So, yeah, it is a problem. So he just says, like, you're always nagging me, blah, blah, blah. And then she's like, you don't want me to work. You told me you didn't want me to work. And then he says, no, I want you to fulfill your wifely duties. And then he R's her again. Awesome. It's on page and it's graphic and I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to talk about it. He finishes and says like, that's the least you could do for me. And then she leaves and goes straight to Sarah's room to see if she overheard. All these doors are wide open. Yikes. She is asleep or at least pretending to be. And so she's like, fine. She's, like that's a load off, and then goes to the bathroom to wash her face and kind of gather herself. And that sucks and it's terrible. But again, I feel like all of this stuff only exists to make the future affair that she has and the cuckold fantasies that they, every single time they do stuff reference in their lovemaking, okay, it just softens it a little bit. Like, of course, no, she should sleep with him and daydream about making her husband watch because he's a dirty rapist drunk. Okay, well, I, unfortunately for you, clocked it. Did I use that word right?
At the beach.
It's just a smokescreen, a scapegoat. It's a way of making, just if you wanted to write an affair romance, cuckold fantasy, you could have just done that. You didn't have to put all this nonsense around it, gobbledygook if I may, to make it more appealing. Like, none of this is appealing. All of this is terrible. I don't know why you wouldn't just do what you wanted to do from the get. Anyway, she splashes some water on her face. A not ghost, joins her in the room and it growls at her. And then she runs back to her sleeping husband and cries herself to sleep next to him or something. Journal! I think I hate him. He's disappointing me and breaking promises to Sarah. And he violated me. And I think I hate him. Kisses! Chapter 10, The Phantom. What are we doing? Oh, yay. So instead of trimming all the fat from the previous 9 chapters in a prologue and reducing the amount of redundant, repetitive language and storytelling and all of that stuff to make room for, I don't know, showing us organic moments of tenderness and bonding between Ronaldo and Gigi, we just kept all the bullshit, and now we have a chapter where he's telling us that they've been bearing their souls to one another for weeks now. Every time John and Sarah are out of the house, he visits and they just spill. They tell each other everything. They know each other so well. It would have been nice to see some of that instead of being told. It's just, but sure. Yeah, great. No. Why work smarter and better when you could work none? They've shared everything and he loves her now. He does not care how long it's been, just that it's the beginning of forever. Wow. Okay. Anyway, he comes in today and she is just like shrouded in darkness. She's a little black rain cloud, and he rushes to her side and scoops her up and lays her on the couch and lays beside her and holds her. And it's like, what happened? So she spills about what John has been doing. And raw, he's rage. John Parsons is a dead man. How could he violate her in this way? I don't know, man. How could you just kill a bunch of rats and put cement things on their feet? I don't know. You put a bullet through a lip or something, right? You be doing stuff too. And I just feel like you're all horrible and I wish that everyone would go away. She asks him not to hurt John because of Sarah, and he's like, that's the only reason that he's gonna stay alive, is because I care about you and I care about your daughter as much as you care about your daughter or whatever. And then she asks for a distraction, a story, something about him that he hasn't told her yet. And he tells her this, he regales her rather, this epic tale of how when he was a child, he rescued and befriended a raccoon who was stuck in a fence. She asks about the ring that he wears on his pinky, you recall, and it belonged to his dad, and it is utterly insignificant in every single way, so who gives a shit? He calls her Mia Rosa. She asks why he calls her that, and then he just won't shut up. God, remember back when he didn't say anything? Ugh. So apparently the dealio is that it was his dad's, and when he died, his mom gave it to him, and she told him about when they got together and how he had like asked her out for months, and she said no, which is like the love story of everyone during this time frame. Like I stalked and harassed her until she gave in, and now we're married. Like, cute. So they did that, and the one thing that he did that convinced her to say yes was that he stole. His dad was poor, so he stole a rose from his neighbor's yard, and the neighbor shot at him over it, but the only injury he sustained was from the thorns in the rose. So before he gave them to the mom, he removed the thorns so that she wouldn't hurt herself. And so then she said, sure, I'll go out with you. Oh, it's like a Disney fairy tale. And that's why he calls her Mia Rosa. And then she asks him if he could sing and if he would sing a song for her. So he does. And she falls asleep, and he sits there thinking about how he won't rest until John Parsons is dead. Journal! Again, why is there a journal in a Ronaldo chapter? So, big breaking news. Breaking news! She thinks she loves Ronaldo. She hurt so badly before he arrived, and now she loves him. He held her and sang to her and told her a story. Great. Chapter 11, The Raven. We are back, and so are the butterflies in her stomach. They are old friends at this point, and she is just a nervous wreck. Why is she nervous? Well, because Ronaldo has been visiting her every day for the last month since she spilled about John. And John hasn't been doing all that stuff to her. He's been a little aggressive, a little loud with her, but nothing like that. And it just makes her thankful for Ronaldo. And she thinks about how she craves his touch so that he can erase what John did. And I'm just going to tell you right quick, this is not how healing from sexual assault works. And of course, that is a broad, sweeping statement, generalization. I don't know what your journey looks like, but we've already had this kind of thing in Hunting Adeline. And it is, to use the author's colorful little language, gobbledygook. It's bullshit. It's nonsense. That's not how it works. You are not brutalized and violated in such an intimate way. And the way that you get rid of that pain is to have someone else consensually brutalize and violate you. It just, in Hunting Adeline, she was literally held captive in a madam's home to be sold off to the highest bidder. And when she was sold off, the man who continued to abuse and R her used to slice her up with knives. And then when she got back, every time she looked at her scars, she remembered her trauma, which is normal and a natural thing when it comes to surviving something so horrific. And Zayd finally just having enough. He's had enough. She has been pouting around this mansion too long. He just starts cutting over top the scars and says that now she'll think of him when she... Now 2 men have hurt her now. That's what it is. This is not how it works. I hate this. She just wants to know what it feels like to be truly loved by Ronaldo, and she's sick over it. He shows up right when she was thinking that maybe he wouldn't, and she turns to face him and is taken aback by his striking beauty. He is wearing a fedora. He's wearing a fedora. It's giving...
Well, princess, care for a drink?
He approaches her and smirks along the way, and she says it suspends further oxygen from reaching her lungs, whatever that means. And before he can do anything, she just blurts out, I love you. I love you. I said it there. Woo. And he's like, love cannot define my feelings for you, but I can show you in actions. Oh boy, we are really cooking now, aren't we? She wants him to touch her. He says her clothes look amazing on her, but would look even better on de four. Princess. She thinks about John, how quickly they got together. Did she ever really love him? I don't know, blah, blah, blah. I'm not without sadness for the fact that I'm losing my husband to a whiskey bottle in a game. Rather than being consumed by my red lip, it's the red poker chips that captivate him. Oh, shut the f*** up!
He drank me in only to spit me out and replace me with a swig of dark, bitter liquor. And when he came back for me, he slammed into me like an empty liquor bottle on a table, demanding something from me I didn't have to give. Horribly atrocious writing. Like, I know you think you ate and left no crumbs, but there is an entire untouched goose knuckle shit sandwich on the plate before me. And also, can we just take a second to talk about how boring this is? It is so boring. Nothing's happening. No one's interesting. Nothing. It is so nothing. They start to, I don't know, do stuff, fool around. He comes up behind her and helps her undress because she's like a queen or something. He touches her and she's goopy about it. And he's like, I want to devour you. And she's like, why don't you? And he's like, you want me to eat you? And she's like, that's not, I didn't. I know, my love, your is weeping for me. I bite my lip, a throb emanating from between my legs from his vulgar language. I've never heard a man speak like that to me. But my God, do I like it? And it is weeping and crying out for him too. The image of a vulva just screaming out to this man is ridiculous. Will you touch me there? This is gross. Okay, the consistency here, or lack thereof, has me weak, and not in a good way, derogatory. This is the 40s, sure. Right, great, yeah, and if I hadn't already read whack-ass shit in other books from this author, I probably just would have passed right over it. However, I have read more from her, and whether our FMC is 20, 30, 90, it does not matter. It matters not. When the smut starts, she is going to revert back and act like a virginal teenager, without a doubt, every single time. This woman is married for 16 years. She is 35. She has a daughter. She has given birth. She has had a hysterectomy, and they've had a lot of sex. And she's acting like this is a foreign concept to her. And I know it was a different time, okay? Believe me, I do. My grandpa asked me questions before that I'm sitting here thinking, how have you lived 80 years and not ever known this information? So I get it. It was a different time, okay? But this is a smut novel. And in all the other smut novels, we aren't in the 40s. And the girls still act like this. Are you gonna touch me there? It feels like, I don't know, like I have to pee or something. Or did we forget Sibby's whole thing about how her tummy was bloating with all the jizz that was in there? Literally, my tummy bloats. She was a 20-something. She's squirt gunning and does it hurt? And she is 29, feeling fine. And she's about to squirt gun and she's like, it feels like I have to go pee-pee. So yeah, no, I'm not chalking this up to being like, oh, well, of course this dame doesn't know her left tit from her right. She's never been loved in such a way. Women didn't ask or talk about such matters with their husbands. Like, I'm sure that's true. I know that that's true. But this author has a pattern of behavior and I'm just seeing it repeat here. So I don't give a shit. Shut the fuck up. Anyway, she is a rushing waterfall of a person. He kisses her, but pulls back and says, when you become the ocean, I will gladly sink into you, Mia Rosa. Enzo?
And then gets her to sit on his face, saying, now's your time for revenge, Bella Ladra. I drowned you once. It's your turn to drown me. Super soaker time.
Anyway, then he just leaves. Jesus Christ. Journal. Ronaldo likes to tease. I know, we know. She just recounts everything that just happened. Kisses! Chapter 12, The Raven. Whoa, we're having fun. So she is baking him cookies. She knows so much about him, save for whatever the heck his job is. And if he likes cookies, she never thought to ask. I pull the baking sheet from the oven and set it on the stovetop, staring at the chocolate chip cookies as if they're centipedes. Why? Something he's confessed he's terrified of that might chase him away. They're just cookies, for God's sake. And what if he hates them? What if he hates chocolate? I should have made sugar cookies. Daddy, chill. She says that even though he undressed her a month ago, they haven't graduated past kissing and
heavy petting. She is lost in her thoughts, which are just riveting, as you know. And all of a sudden he's there and he puts his hand on her shoulder and she's like, yeah, you know, kind of thing. And she also tells us how his eye was injured. Apparently he was in the military and somebody that he was also in the military with shot a weapon, but there was a problem with the weapon. So it exploded and shrapnel blew into his eye. I don't care. I didn't care. I don't and I never will, and I didn't care. He's like, are these cookies for me? And she's like, yeah, I made them for you. And he's like, cool, I love cookies. Duh, they're cookies.
I've always loved cookies. Maybe because I enjoy eating things that are sweet and melt on my tongue.
Oh, it's worse than I could have imagined. He walks off and she's like, you're always walking away from me. Why? And he's like, because I couldn't bear it if you walked away from me. So I walk away first. Okay. He goes on to stupidly tell us about how he'd follow her anywhere and do anything for her and be her phantom in all her lives and her reaper in every single death, you know, kind of thing. But the thought of her leaving him is unbearable. So he walks away first and it's really stupid. And I don't know how anyone could feel differently. I respect your right to feel differently and good for you if you liked this. I just don't understand you is all. And that's okay. You probably don't understand me either. And that's fine. We are at an impasse. Agree to disagree. Stupid. Let's keep going. So they say more heated things, and then they kiss, and it's crazy, and he carries her over to the couch. He will give her what she wants, but today, it's all about her. It's all about you, girl. Like, is this the dream that you know yourself so little? Like, you are intimate with no one and nothing, and you have, like, next to no knowledge about your own self and your wants and your needs. And then a strange criminal man starts stalking you, and he's going to show you the way, show you the world, and that's the dream. Like, I'm not saying that that wouldn't work under the correct circumstances, but I also know that the circumstances in here are ass. So anyway, he sits down and he pats his lap. Come on over, you know, whatever.
Come sit on my lap, pretty girl. Let me take care of you. Ooh, I hate that.
Chapter 13 is the Raven. Yay. Okay. So they are still getting ready to get it on. And her heart is a thudding in her chest. She didn't say that it skips a beat and then palpitates, but I bet it does. He asks her if she's ever touched herself, and she says no.
Baby, tell me you've at least had an orgasm before.
He says, his tone nearly a plea. I don't know. How would I know if I have? You know what? That's enough for today. I know we just got to chapter 13. We just started. We were only wading in. I can't do any more. I cannot do any more of this today. Oh my God. So thank you for watching. And I'll be back.